Hey, Big Brother fans. So we've got some huge updates, BB27 spoilers from the live feeds about why Jimmy is doomed to be evicted unless he wins the next comp. A new power everybody's waiting to see revealed. A new scandal in the house called P-Gate. And the hard fact that Mickey has been fooled by friends into wrecking her game. It's Belinda, and we're going to get into all that. But first, please click subscribe. All right, let's talk about Jimmy and then P-Gate and Mickey. And in part 2 of this video, we'll discuss the new power, what it might be, who's got it, how they earned it, plus some info on the next 2 HOH comps. Jimmy told Rachel he regrets sending an ally home, which is Amy. And Jimmy said he might mention that in his eviction night speech, kind of a dig at Mickey since they were allies and she renommed him. But I mean, Jimmy, it's kind of karmic for what you did to Amy, but still. Ashley is only going to save Jimmy with her vote if he's sitting next to Kelley on eviction night. Will seems to be of the same mindset, and both of them are on alert about Mickey being a little untrustworthy right now because she has turned on an ally. So, of course, her own remaining allies are going to look at her side-eyed. Jimmy thinks he might have enough votes to stay, and despite Rachel advising Jimmy to quit talking so much to so many people, he kept on, and he was spreading that around. So word got back around, and Mickey and others started going, does he? And they were counting votes, and then campaigning against and for Jimmy intensified when he might have done better to just zip it, but he didn't. The best case scenario for him to stay, obviously, is for Jimmy to win the BB Blockbuster. Kelley has been the queen of that comp, but it is anybody's game. If it's mental, which, 99% it should be just because of the short time frame, my money is Reilly doesn't win it. Unless it's one of those things that's just sheer luck where you bounce a ball and see how many points you get. Jimmy's smart, so is Kelley. Reilly's more of a physical threat. The BB Blockbusters have all been fast, puzzles, mind games, not physical. If Kelley wins and it's Jimmy versus Reilly on the block, Jimmy goes. If it's Kelley versus Jimmy in the eviction vote, that could be interesting because Kelley is a ripe target who has gotten herself off the block a few times. Of interest is Keanu seems to want Jimmy to stay in the house because he has realized that Jimmy's a bigger target than him. Keanu's right about that. Vince has been lying to Jimmy's face, saying he's got his vote when Vince definitely plans to vote to evict Jimmy. And Rachel has realized that they're probably going to have to work with Keanu if they can try and save Jimmy, and she's not happy about that. Speaking of HOH Mickey, she has finally begun to realize that Morgan manipulated her, but it's too late. Ashley told Mickey that Zach and Vince were going to evict Will. And Mickey was totally in the dark about that. That would have been a big betrayal because she's been trusting these two guys over her own allies. And Ashley said it was Ava that stopped them from voting to oust Will. So Mickey was skeptical of what Ashley said, but then she pulled Ava in and she laid it all out for her, told her the truth. And Mickey did seem to believe Ava. And then she went to talk to Zach and Vince to kind of suss out things. And Vince flat out lied to her face. She knew it was a lie. She didn't get into a confrontation, but Mickey's definitely figured out that Zach's influenced Morgan and she has done what's best for his game and her game, not Mickey's game. And she fell for it. But you know what? It's too late. Mickey's got no power. She can't play HOH and she can't vote. So the house guests are going to do what they want, not necessarily what she wants. And she may find herself a huge target next week. I think she will. So we're going to get to that new power the Big Brother house guest thinks is coming. But first, let's talk about P-Gate. It's kind of like Showergate. It involves a bathroom and moisture and lies. If you recall, Ashley was accused of taking a 3-hour shower right after the first HOH. It was actually a 20-minute shower followed by 90 minutes of game talk with Vince. And that mustached little liar let the whole house think that Ashley abused her shower privileges and he put her on the block rather than Vince owning up to talking game with Ashley. It was a dirty move. And Showergate was complete fiction that Vince let happen, and P-Gate is also complete fiction that the house instigator started because, I don't know, she just wakes up and chooses evil a lot of the time, and that's Kelley. She apparently told Keanu that Rachel had accused him of peeing on the bathroom floor to instigate a fight. Now, whether Keanu did pee on the floor, Rachel wasn't saying anything, and this was just all Kelley toilet pot stirring. So Rachel and Keanu argued, then they squashed the beef, and Kelley provoking people is increasingly a topic of conversation in the BB27 house. Keanu is onto Kelley and her mischievous gameplay, and if she's on the block, no matter who she's next to, I feel like Keanu definitely wants her out of the house. Kelley, by the way, is gunning for Vince, and once he figures that out, he would vote to evict her as well to keep his dirty secrets hidden. What's crazy is Mickey wants Reilly to stay over anybody, and I'm pretty sure he's still coming for her, Morgan, and Ashley if he can win HOH again. Speaking of troublemaker Kelley, it was her birthday party last night, and Mickey was playing Mean Girl afterwards, saying up in her HOH room that Kelley didn't deserve a nice birthday because she is causing shiz and turmoil in the house. And yeah, I agree, she's a huge instigator, but I mean, how dare Mickey say that about Kelley on her birthday, less than 2 weeks after Rockstar's daughter's birthday? I mean, what the heck? All right, now let's talk about what may be a new power unleashed in the Big Brother house. If you watched BB Unlocked with Derek and Taylor like a week and a half ago, you know that there was a vote to see who would get slimed Nickelodeon style, although they were calling it goo. And this Friday, it's another episode of Big Brother Unlocked, and the results of the vote are going to be on that show. We should see it teased on Wednesday and Thursday's episodes, but we can spoil it for you. The vote was on who had the worst fashion in the BB27 house. Jimmy has been relentless about Rachel and her clothing, and sure enough, she won America's vote to get the goo. I do have to say this feels like Allison Grodner's hand on this, because it would only be Rachel or Jimmy that would win this. You know, they're the ones always dressing up insanely and borderline tacky, depending on your taste, you know. So when the house found out about it on the feeds, we had Rachel saying it's Jimmy's fault. She got voted worst fashion sense. The feeds went down to create this content for Friday's BB spinoff show, and when the feeds came back up, Mickey had a golden envelope, and Rachel was off cleaning up after her sliming. And it looked like the house guests were waiting on Rachel to finish her shower to come open up the envelope. The feeds were up and down all over the day, which was really ticking off watchers, and nobody since then has mentioned what was in the envelope. So I do suspect some sort of prize or advantage. The house guests may have been warned not to discuss it, or maybe the envelope can't be opened until after Thursday's eviction and they're not supposed to talk about it. Some people wonder if Rachel was getting a shopping spree to get more stylish clothes, but it could be production intervention to try and keep her around. You remember how many weeks of safety Big Brother gave Paul Abrahamian in his second season in BB19? I think it was 4 weeks. It was something crazy. Some are hoping that Rachel would get a power that would let her pull Jimmy off the block. Many think that Mickey's HOH takeover power was way too strong and deserves a counterbalance, so that envelope could come into play on eviction night. You know, Reilly being eligible for nomination after winning HOH was kind of unprecedented, at least in my recollection of gameplay. Rachel has heard talk that they plan to have her first out to jury, and that means Allison Grodner's heard it. If they want Rachel in the game longer, this may be some kind of power to keep her safe. We'll see. After Thursday's live eviction, by the way, we've heard that week 5 HOH comp is a knockout. And because those are so fast, it could play out on the episode or at least get started. That's the one where you face off one-on-one in rounds, and the winner of each round gets to pick who plays next. Then the following HOH comp in week 6 is supposed to be the wall. So that's definitely going to be one to watch.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.